Sweet. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out. My name is Daniel Lev, and today I'll be talking about crypto payments. The talk will contain, first of all, why is the current payment system broken? Why do crypto payments have an edge? Covering a little bit about the crypto payments market landscape, what crypto payments headwinds have, and then after that, why is it taking so long for crypto payments to get adoption? So first of all, why do we need crypto payments? Or just a better payment system in general? The first reason is global incumbents in the payments landscape are very centralized and all run by institutions, primarily very heavily regulated institutions. This heavy regulation leads to a lot of different issues. One of them is each different jurisdiction has a different rule set, making communication between different countries very difficult. This results in very high transaction fees for going in between different jurisdictions and countries. Who this impacts primarily, not only everyone in this room, but it has an adverse effect on people that are in lower economic situations and small businesses, creating it very expensive for them to access financial rails, additionally allowing it very expensive for businesses, primarily small ones, to interact with financial institutions. So before we go into the deep dive of what are crypto payments, we'll first start by talking about the traditional payment infrastructure and giving a high-level overview of what that is. Primarily, everyone here has probably heard of fintech. It's been around for the last decade or two, and this is essentially what you can think of as wrappers on top of the current financially regulated systems. You can think of this as neobanks, investment applications, and others. These have all been great, and many of us use these day to day, including a lot of us, even when we meet up with our crypto friends, we use Venmo to pay for dinners, these closed-loop wallets. Some of the downsides of these, once again, it's very centralized. They're not on a global landscape. They can be very expensive and inaccessible to people. It's hard for these applications to communicate with each other, causing not much innovation in this space. So moving over to crypto payments, very different than this. Crypto payments is an open peer-to-peer system by nature. Crypto payments are developed in open blockchain networks. Another benefit of these, they're programmable via smart contracts, allowing developers to make unique use cases of these platforms. Crypto payments by nature are global and scalable. Instead of a neobank that has to launch in one country and each jurisdiction separately, crypto payments are on the blockchain and global, where you can transact instantly between other peers. Next, the speed. Interacting with crypto payments is very fast, caveat if you choose the right chain like Solana. Lastly, crypto payments is internet-native money for the next generation. So all those things about crypto payments are great, but why do crypto payments have an edge, and why are blockchains the right place to make the next financial systems? So as mentioned, blockchains allow our users to move funds and settle instantly at a global level, which is a huge improvement versus the current financial system. One example is, in my home country, I'm from Chicago, so in the United States. If I were to send payment to someone in Europe, let's say they're visiting for Breakpoint, or someone from my team wants to send me payment in Europe, this could take days. On Solana, I can instantly receive a stablecoin or another form of payment, therefore proving the speed and the settlement increase versus the traditional rails. Next is this atomic swaps. So the example I just gave is transacting between two different jurisdictions, which would have normally a lot of intermediaries. With atomic swaps, you can swap two different currencies on the blockchain. One really unique example of this is two different stablecoins that are both issued in separate jurisdictions. Next, in the same example, there can be less counterparty risk. If you send money overseas now, you're dealing with many middlemen, increasing the risk of your transaction ever making it there, with a lot of opaqueness and not much knowing of what happens in the middle ground. So with blockchains, you can interact peer-to-peer or directly through a smart contract, like an escrow contract, so you know exactly what comes out when you put something in. And lastly, blockchains and crypto payments allow for sovereignty and self-custody of your own assets, you being able to control where your money is stored and having protection with that. So over here, crypto payments is a very large market. I just discussed some of the advantages of it. As you can see, a lot of people also believe there's a lot of advantages in the crypto payments market. This is a high-level overview of the crypto payments market map, and shout out to Reciprocal Ventures, one of CoinFlow's investors, for putting this market map that I got to take on stage. So the first part of building crypto payments or anything about crypto payments is a settlement layer. So this can be thought of as blockchains. Two important pieces to consider when thinking about settlement layers for any payment system is a transaction cost. If the transaction costs a lot of money, then the payments are going to be very expensive to do. So peer-to-peer payments are kind of out of the picture if you're doing retail. Next is speed. If it takes a lot of money or a lot of time for your money to hit the final destination, that's also a very bad thing. So when thinking about settlement layers, those are two important factors. Thankfully, Solana is very good at both. It is to transact in Solana, it's very cheap, it's a fraction of a penny. And also, settlement time is very, very quick, within milliseconds. So that's why you're starting to see a lot of innovation happen in the payment space on Solana, because it meets two of those criteria, versus a lot of other people on the map don't do so good of a job on that. The next area that I'll talk about in this crypto market map is stablecoins. Stablecoins are digital dollars often issued by centralized players. Some of the big players in this space are Circle, who issue US dollar stablecoins, USDC. Another big player is USDT, who by Tether, who issues another stablecoin, the US dollar. There's also stablecoin providers that are starting to issue not only US dollar-backed stablecoins, but other stablecoins, such as EUROE, which is issued by Membrane Finance. To interact with crypto payments for stablecoins or other things, you need different products like on-ramps. On-ramps are platforms that allow users to get cryptocurrency. Some of the big providers in the space, people like MoonPay. And then when you're done transacting in the blockchain or crypto world, you still need to interact, or you still may need to interact with financial institutions. There we have off-ramps who let you go from cryptocurrency directly to your bank account. CoinFlow is an offering that lets users or businesses go directly from their from wallets, both self-custody and custody wallets, directly to their bank account instantly via real-time payment rails and other payment rails such as card networks. Another area in the crypto payment space is commerce and checkouts. This space is evolving very fast as consumer apps are starting to build on top of blockchain layers. You can think of the commerce and checkout platforms in one statement, allowing end users to buy digital goods or services from smart contracts or wallets. So at a high level, that's the crypto market map. My talk's pretty short today, so I don't have too much time to dive into it, but here's the general landscape of it, and it's definitely evolving rapidly. So next, I'm going to cover where are some opportunity areas for crypto payments and where have we seen some recent headwinds. First, I'll start off by stablecoins. Stablecoins have been gaining traction not only during the bull market and the previous bull market, but also during this market conditions. Stablecoin volumes are increasing with settlement, and also the stablecoin total volume locked is also increasing. I'll be covering mostly one-to-one backed stablecoins with fiat dollars. As I mentioned, these are issued by providers such as Circle, Tether, and other institutions. The benefits of these, once they're put on a blockchain, they can be transacted 24/7, 365, instant settlement, and cross-border settlement, which is it's not possible with any other settlement rail, having a huge increase of efficiency, speed, and transacting for anyone involved in here. These are gaining a lot of traction with big institutions issuing their own stablecoins. One of the largest players in the fintech space, PayPal, has also recently launched their own white-labeled stablecoin. I suspect a lot more institutions will be doing this to transact, gain market share, and give users, hopefully, some of the rewards for transacting their own stablecoins. Another piece to watch is crypto payment infrastructure. So everything that I talked about, most of these crypto platforms have to interact with financial institutions in the traditional world. Making the bridge between these financial institutions and blockchains can be very hard. For developers to build on top of these payment tools, you need this type of infrastructure. There's a lot of different infrastructure providers here. You can think of custodial wallets such as Fireblocks, on and off ramps like I mentioned, including CoinFlow, and then card networks. Going into card networks, we recently saw Visa announce that instead of only settling to bank accounts, which is the only thing card networks currently do, is they will be settling to wallets via USDC on Solana. This is a huge improvement for anyone who's ever been a merchant. Typically, when a user or an end user buys something from, let's say, a coffee shop, how that works is that coffee shop receives settlement into their bank account, usually T+2 business days. Instead of receiving money in their bank account, they can get, when the card networks implement stablecoins or other type of cryptocurrency settlement, as soon as that user purchases it, eventually they'll be able to receive USDC instantly into their wallet. You can see how this benefits many merchants, especially small businesses. Instead of waiting for them to receive payments a couple days in advance, they'll instantly be able to receive in their wallet. And then Web3 commerce. This area is closest to my heart as CoinFlow operates in this space. So Web3 commerce, as I mentioned, it's the ability for users to buy digital goods and services from digital wallets and merchants to receive settlement instantly. So that's a lot of buzzwords and a lot of big words. So I'll break that down and what that can look like in practice. So as I mentioned, CoinFlow plays a role in this day to day. I'll give you one example of currently what we power on Solana, and then also another example of how this can be utilized by Web2 merchants. So one of CoinFlow's customers is a marketplace that sells fine whiskey. They connect people who sell this whiskey, mint it as an NFT, and then end users who want to acquire this whiskey. Typically how this type of traditional marketplace would work, credit cards and bank settlement, as I mentioned. These types of transactions can take days to settle. On here, an end user can leverage CoinFlow's infrastructure for accepting card payments to buy this NFT, and as soon as that transaction is approved, USDC or any cryptocurrency that is there for settlement settles at that smart contract instantly. The end user receives the NFT representing that whiskey, and the seller who put up that into the smart contract instantly receives the payment for their bottle of whiskey. On the other side of that, as soon as the seller gets that in their wallet, they can then instantly off-ramp from their self-custodial wallet to their bank account, with that whole flow of funds happening in minutes and can happen 24/7, 365, even when banks are closed. So right there, if that happened on any Web2 marketplace, that seller wouldn't get their funds for multiple days. You can think about this in a Web2 example. I took an Uber to get here to the conference today. If that Uber driver is going to receive the payment in a couple days, in that same flow of funds, if that was a smart contract dispersing the funds for giving me my ride, that Uber would be able to get their funds instantly and even get to their bank in that same moment. So that's what's coming and where some big headwinds are headed. So all that stuff I said, I think is really good, and a lot of people are excited about it. But why isn't it live today? And what's the holdup for more people getting in the space? Firstly, if anyone's been paying attention, there's a lot of regulatory uncertainty, especially in jurisdictions such as the United States. There's not a clear rule set, which makes it very challenging for new players to get in the space. Second, there's a lack of trust around crypto products, and financial institutions and regulators aren't open it. I've talked to hundreds of banks in the US, and it's very difficult to educate them when there's no clear set of guidelines. And there's also a challenge when the news and the media constantly says negative things about crypto. So there's been quite a big uphill battle. Next, for end users to get in the space, as I mentioned, crypto payments infrastructure is evolving, but currently there's a lot of friction. It's very difficult to onboard my friends, my mom, or other people who aren't currently in the space. And lastly, there's a lot of bad actors who've been operating in the space and has led to large fraud and also a lot of large hacks. So that is also another pain point why people do not want to get involved. All that being said, crypto payments has been evolving and is an area to definitely watch. I'm running out of time, so I don't have anything else to say, but thank you for listening to this talk today. And if you do want to find out more, please reach out to me and also be here for the rest of the week. Thank you so much.